Indiana Fever in the Chicago Sky here from Wintrust Arena. The Fever really stretched out this one in the second half as we look at Diamond DeShields and Caitlin Clark.
Ever been knocked down hard playing ball? That's what happened to Caitlin Clark, courtesy of Diamond DeShields. But this wasn't just any foul. It's got fans, players, and even the media fired up. Let's talk about why this hit different. Before we move on, I'd like to ask you a small favor. If you appreciate this content, please take a second to like this video and subscribe to the channel. Over 98% of you watch the videos without subscribing. It costs you nothing, but it makes a huge difference to us. So, did you click the subscribe button? Great, thank you so much. Now back to the video. Picture this, Clark's driving to the hoop and bam, DeShields comes in hot, sending Clark crashing to the floor.
Man, oh man, when Caitlin Clark does something, everybody celebrates. When Caitlin Clark does something, there is no jealousy. That there's a distinct difference between the two teams. Yeah, I know that Kennedy Carter wasn't playing. Okay, but take that out. You could watch the way they played on the court. And let me give you a little education here.
The crowd goes wild, and not in a good way. You could feel the tension in the air. It was like everyone held their breath for a second. Then, boom! Social media explodes. Fans are going crazy, players are weighing in, and even the Chicago Sun-Times is talking about it. This foul touched a nerve, and everyone's got something to say. But here's the thing, this isn't just about one foul. It's about the future of the WNBA. And trust me, you'll want to stick around to hear what could change after this. The game might never be the same. The game might never be the same, especially for one rising star. What if I told you that being too good at basketball could actually be dangerous? Caitlin Clark's meteoric rise in the WNBA is turning heads, but it's also putting a target on her back. You know those players who seem to have it all? The ones who make you go, wow, they're on another level. Well, that's Caitlin Clark right now. She's not just good, she's changing the game. We're talking 31 points, 12 assists, leading the Fever to a 181 victory. That's not rookie numbers, that's superstar stuff. But here's the thing, all that success comes with a price. Clark's not just impressing fans, she's scaring opponents. And when players get scared, things can get rough. Remember that foul from DeShields? Turns out it wasn't a one-time thing. Clark's been taking hits left and right. Kennedy Carter gave her a shoulder check. Angel Reese came at her with a hard foul. It's like there's a bullseye on her jersey. So why is everyone coming at Clark so hard?
You don't see it anymore. And one thing Caitlin Clark does maybe better than anybody in sports right now, makes it about others, makes it about team. When's the last time you didn't see Caitlin Clark talking about a teammate? When's the last time you saw Caitlin Clark talking about herself or any of the accomplishment?
It's simple. She's just that good. She's the frontrunner for Rookie of the Year, and fans are flocking to see her play. The league hasn't seen a rookie this exciting in years. But that same talent that's making her a star, it's also making her a target. Think about it. If you're playing against someone who's tearing up the court, what do? Some players are choosing to get physical. They figure if they can't stop her skills, maybe they can slow her down with some tough defense. But there's a line between tough defense and dangerous play, and some fans think that line's being crossed. You should have seen social media after that DeShields foul. Fans were losing it. One even said, why do announcers justify flagrant violence toward Clark by saying it's a basketball play? Opposing players are using these so-called basketball plays to commit egregious acts of violence against Clark under the cloak of it being a basketball play. This has to stop. That's some serious passion right there. And it's not just fans taking notice. The Chicago Sun-Times put the foul on their back page with the headline, "Foul ball." When a basketball play is making headlines in the newspaper, you know it's a big deal. So here's where we're at. Caitlin Clark is a phenom. She's lighting up scoreboards, dishing out assists, and bringing new fans to the WNBA. But that same talent that's making her a star is also making her a target.
She could have been an egomaniac. Everybody in the league knows that she is the league right now. Are you kidding me? Now let's go to the Chicago Sky. If you look at it, what they have, Barbie night. We're giving out towels, blah, 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 blah. And when you see Angel Reese, what does she do? She's walking in with look at me outfits. It's about me.
The better she plays, the harder opponents come at her. It's like she can't win for losing. You'd think a $2.2 billion payday would solve all the WNBA's problems. Plot twist, it might be creating new ones. The league's exploding in popularity, but that same growth is putting its players at risk. Can the WNBA find a way to keep the excitement without sacrificing safety? Let's talk about that massive media deal the WNBA just signed. $2.2 billion, that's some serious cash. It's great for the league, right? More money, more exposure, more fans. But here's the thing. With all that growth comes higher expectations. And I'm not just talking about better jerseys or fancier arenas. We're talking player safety. You've seen how physical the game's getting, especially with stars like Caitlin Clark. Fans are noticing, and they're not happy.
When you see Caitlin Clark, what do you see? It's about we. Maybe you start out slow, 1-9 is what the Fever started out, but Caitlin Clark continued to make it about us and we, not her. So what happened? Well, what happened was a 1-9 start has now turned into 15 wins. The deal, have I talked about winning? No. Why? Because you can't win that way.
They're calling for the WNBA to crack down on these hard fouls. Some are even saying DeShields should be ejected and suspended for 10 games. That's how serious this is getting. But here's where it gets tricky. The WNBA's current policies on flagrant fouls and player protection, they're looking a bit outdated. Fans are screaming for change, demanding the league step up and protect its stars. It's like the WNBA is growing faster than its rulebook can keep up. Now, not everyone's on board with changing things up. Some fans are saying, hey, this is just basketball. It's a physical game. One fan even said, hate to say it, but this is good for basketball. This kind of foul happens in every league. So there's definitely a split in how people see this. You know what's wild? The WNBA's at a crossroads right now. They've got to decide, do they let the game get more physical to keep that excitement up, or do they crack down on hard fouls to protect their players?
Well, why are they doing better? Well, Dan, they got a great player. Sure, they got a great player. Yeah, the best. Man, losing is like a disease. It festers. It's like that weed that grows in your grass. So instead of just building a team, Angel Reese has been trying to build a brand. But as the season goes along, and this is what I'm talking about, the difference in the second half of the season, as the season goes along, all that goes away.
It's not an easy choice. Think about it. More physicality might mean more drama, more highlights, more fans tuning in. But at what cost? If stars like Clark are getting knocked around every game, how long before someone gets seriously hurt? On the flip side, if they make the game too soft, will fans lose interest? It's like the WNBA's success is forcing them to grow up fast. They're not just a small league anymore. They're big time now, with big time problems to solve. How do you keep the game exciting and physical without crossing the line? How do you protect your stars without changing the game too much? You know what's crazier than trying to balance physicality and safety? Trying to keep players safe from their own fans? Yeah, you heard that right. The Clark DeShields showdown didn't just stir up controversy on the court, it unleashed a whole different kind of foul play off it. And trust me, no referee's whistle can stop this one. Remember that foul on Clark? Well, things got ugly real fast. Some fans took it way too far. They didn't just get mad at DeShields, they got personal, like bringing up past health issues personal. We're talking about fans digging up DeShields' history with a spinal cord tumor. That's not just crossing a line, that's leaping over it with a jetpack. Imagine having surgery to remove a tumor that could have left you paralyzed, then having people use that against you over a basketball play. That's what DeShields faced. It's not just about the game anymore. It's about basic human decency. But here's where it gets interesting. DeShields didn't fire back. She didn't get mad. Instead, she took the high road. She posted on social media saying, "Thank you, God, for covering me. I pray you cover those who wish harm unto me as well." That's some next level maturity right there. This whole mess shows us something important. We're not just dealing with basketball anymore. We're dealing with how we treat each other as human beings. It's easy to forget there are real people behind those jerseys, especially when we're fired up about a game. Think about it. How many times have you seen fans go nuts on social media over a play? It's like the internet turns into a digital coliseum, and suddenly everyone's a gladiator. But what happens when the trash talk turns into personal attacks? When does supporting your team become bullying the other team? This isn't just a WNBA problem. It's a sports problem. Heck, it's a society problem. We're seeing it in basketball, football, soccer, you name it. Fans are getting more aggressive and social media is giving them a megaphone to shout from. So what do we do about it? How do we keep the passion in sports without losing our humanity? It's not an easy question to answer. The league can make all the rules it wants about player safety on the court, but how do you protect players from online hate? So here we are, folks. We've seen Clark's talent light up the court, but we've also seen how that same talent's made her a target. The WNBA's growing fast, but that growth's bringing some growing pains. And let's not forget, these players are real people, not just jerseys on a screen. Here's the thing, changing the WNBA isn't just on the league, it's on all of us, players, fans, officials. We all have a part to play. So what do you think? How can we keep the game exciting without putting players at risk? Think about it. What kind of WNBA do we want to see? One that's known for jaw-dropping talent, or one that's known for takedowns? The ball's in our court now. It's time to decide what kind of game we want to play.